Hello, everybody. My name is Alex Buriak, and I am the Senior Vice President over here at Jet Lending. And just to kind of recap on some of you guys that don't know, we do about daily education for the investment community, just to make sure that everybody gets some topics to help put in their arsenal to make them more successful, working on that wealth to get that financial freedom. Okay, so today what we're going to go over is you're an investor and you are trying to flip a property. The rehab's complete, but now there is something going on and you can't sell the property. Okay, what do you do? All right, so one of the things that you need to consider as an investor is when you are preparing to be a flipping investor, someone who's going to buy, fix, and sell, buy, fix, and sell. Eventually, just as a side note, you're going to want to start holding properties. That's where your big wealth comes from. But you're in a flipping stage now. You got something, you're going to try to flip it. You don't know what to do when you can't sell it. So the first thing in the initial stages of any property, I want you guys to think about three different exit strategies on each project that if something goes wrong, what do you do? Okay. So this is easy to talk about in the initial stages, but we're going to go over to what you can do using this on if you have a flip and you can't sell it. Okay. One is your first exit strategy is to sell the property. That was your primary try to do. You fix it and you sell it. Your other two strategies are going to have to deal with something of holding the property longer while putting a renter or somebody in place to cover your spread on your holding costs. Okay, that's either refinancing and renting it or putting a renter in there in place and trying to reduce your monies in the red to cover your spread. Okay, depending on what kind of lender you have, you may be able to extend your term. If not, you have to refinance out. There's also an owner finance option on some types of loans where you can owner finance, and that's an exit strategy as well. So those are your basic exit strategies when you're flipping a house and you can't sell it and you have to move on to other strategies. Okay, so now you're in this situation and you have this property, you can't sell it. The first thing that you need to do when you're listing a property and it's not selling is reanalyze the market. Okay, so what is it about your property that is holding things up? All right, did you get an ARV appraisal and it was 576, so you listed it and you're like, well, that's crazy, it's worth at least 600? Did you overvalue the property, especially for the type of property it has? What does it look like on the outside? What's it look like on the inside? Was it on a busy street? Did somebody misanalyze this? Okay, so the first thing you guys got to do is one, either get with your lender, like Jet Lending, we do this for people all the time, and reanalyze the situation. Okay, and then see what's going on. Does the finishes match for the comparables that you're looking to sell? Are you at the top of the market when your ratio in the area is trending downwards? What I mean by that is you're supposed to look at your actives versus pendings and your actives versus solds. Okay, so if you had 5 actives and 20 solds, that's an ascending market. I mean, there's less than a month of inventory in there. All right, reverse that. There's 20 actives and 5 solds. Well, there's about 4 months of inventory in there. Did you project that on your holding costs? Did you just list it? It's been 2 months and you're not even in the average realm yet. So you reanalyze the situation, see how did we position this, and look at, can somebody buy a house better than yours or the same for cheaper? All right. You want to be in a sweet spot. A lot of investors, this is not the time where you have capital, where you are going to reestablish a market. You're going to, I'm going to be the highest sold. You can do that, but it turns higher risk. Okay. So that's the first thing you do is reestablish the market, reestablish what's going on in your area and figure out why isn't this selling, especially for a market that we're still low on inventory. Houses are still selling, even though prime hasn't really dropped. You haven't seen a huge decrease in rates, but houses are still selling. You should be selling too. It's if it's rehabbed right. All right. So you reevaluate the market. You're at where you need to be. The finishes look good. They're comparable to your market. It's still not selling. What do you do? All right. So there are options then to refinance the property into an asset-based long-term loan. In the past, they were called non-QM. Now they're called DSCR. Okay. So you can get a 30-year loan using the property as the asset. Just like hard money, you collateralize the hard asset, same thing, but long term. And the way that they do that is it's based off a ratio. If your principal, interest, taxes, insurance, and association dues are really big with condos and townhomes and stuff. They can really mess things up. And the insurance, you guys already know, has been nuts. So those two things you got to watch for. But that's your mortgage, PITIA. Okay. Let's say for easy math purposes, that's $1,000 a month. You would have to rent your property, or it is rented for $1,200 a month to have a 1.2 ratio between the mortgage and the rent. And that's how like a lot of you investors are going to like meetings, or you're in a club or something like, Jim is buying 20 rentals a year. How is he doing it? This is how they're doing it. They're not using the conventional side of the regional bank where your rate may be lower. They're using something that's non-full doc, non-income based way, in the collateral holds for itself. Okay, so the second thing that you should consider to do is to refinance the property. And when you refinance, most 30-year loans are at 75%. Most of your short-term hard money loans are at 70%. So you should have a 5% buffer if it appraises the same way. And let me tell you something about 30-year loans, okay? There's not one place that I'm aware of in the history of time that puts 30-year loans on their balance sheet and holds them for 30 years. Even your house that you live in today, that loan was sold probably 3 times already. So 30-year paper is securitized. Okay, they go to pension funds and insurance companies and all sorts of stuff to make their spread to pay their people. So, so it all fits in this nice little box. All right. So you just have to. It's usually a 30 to 45 day process. People are like, oh, we can do it in 20, maybe, if everything goes well. But underwriting always has conditions, so just be prepared. The refinance is a real option for you guys. And if you guys are in that 5% spread and your appraisal comes in, your out-of-pocket cost could be 0 on the refinance as long as the value is there. And it's all based on 3 basic criteria: the rent, the value of the property, and your credit score. The only caveat to the DSCR loans is usually you have to have, in this market, this is June 4th, 2024, because this is going to fluctuate as capital changes. You're needing about a 660 credit score right now. Okay. So here comes the other caveat. You're like, okay, I can do this. I have a great property. Finishes are good. The rent's great. I only have a 600 credit score. Now what do I do? Okay. So what you can do now is to gain partners into your entity that have a higher credit score. And everybody gets this sour milk face when you talk about, well, I'm going to put something in my LLC. Well, this is my deal. I don't want to share it. I'm telling you right now, the people that you inspire to be the investors, they all have done this. They've all partnered with people and shared equity and all done stuff to get the deal done, to continue buying. Okay. So don't be the person that's like, well, I'm not giving up anything. You're stuck now. You're at a high interest rate. You're hemorrhaging money. It's time to cut the bleeding and get a renter in there and hold that property out. And it's a good strategy because, especially into the Houston market and in the Texas market, appreciation is pretty steady. And people, and we'll do another video on this, people don't hold real estate for cash flow. Okay, cash flow is very nice, but you make cash flow $150, $200. You're putting that into a bank account to save up for when the roof goes or when the AC goes out, and that money's gone. Okay, with the real icing on the cake is the appreciation. You have $100,000 property, easy math. Well, next year at a 5% appreciation. It's worth 105 just by living, just by being around, you know? And then the year after that, now it's worth 108. And then it's worth 114. And then it's worth 126. And then so you can see the trend, you know, just having the property, the appreciation is what you're looking for. So it's just it's that delayed gratification. You're going to make your money back, but you're going to have to hold it longer. You're going to have to put somebody in there to pay for your cost of capital. And that's the biggest thing you guys can do when you can't sell a property. This is not the time, you know, to, you know, I'm 9 months on days on market. I'm going to sell this property. You should have refinanced months ago. Okay. Have a game plan of when you can and when you are going to keep trying to sell and when you're going to try to refinance, because it's, again, like a 30-40 day process. Okay. So just put that in your back pocket and talk to your agent. Like, when are we going to reduce? When are we doing this? Let me see the market, and then look at the comps. The most of the properties I'm seeing that today that are not selling, it's because they're priced wrong. And they got this advice that, oh yeah, you can sell this house on a busy street for the same amount of money that you on a non-busy street. No, you can't. I'm trying to tell you. I mean, you could. You're not gonna. But I mean, anything can happen. But you're supposed to be playing the odds. Okay. So the first thing you guys can consider is refinancing and putting a renter in. Depending on your lender, you can try to put a renter in prior to that. Try to cover your holding costs. Okay. So the biggest thing you guys are trying to do is stay in business. Okay. So when you have a flip and that money's going out, you're trying to figure out a way to minimize that cost going out the door. Because at the end of the day, when you do sell it, you have to, as a business, you have to pay all that holding cost back to yourself to finally get your net profit return. Okay. So refinance is an option, then putting a renter in is an option. The owner finance option is a very attractive option. Okay. But you have to just make sure that you don't have due on sale clauses and stuff like that within your loan. Because if you have a long-term lender and they have a due on sale clause and you owner finance it, that's technically a sale. And that means that loan is due. So the only thing I caution you on owner finance is that you need to get with somebody that can help you work the interest rate math to make sure that because you are making a profit or at least coming even from your holding costs. And it's very easy to make a mistake on, you know, going to 20-year AM or a 30-year AM, and you're like, well, I'm going to do 9%. It's like, okay, well, does that cover everything? You know, because remember, owner financing is not interest-only payments. It's to the principal. It's at least P&I. Are you going to escrow for taxes? Are you going to escrow for insurance? If you're not, how are you going to manage that process? Things like that. So it's important to also get with like an RMLO and a team that services owner finances if you go that direction, especially if you are not used to that process. It's time to make sure you get that team involved and get with a team that understands what you're trying to do. Okay, and there's plenty of great resources out there, especially even in the Houston area, local like owner finance shops that actually even help you with capital with that. So, and that's, again, this is another reason why people come to Jet Lending. We've been around for almost 21 years. We know almost everybody in the game. So sometimes we're your best outfit, but sometimes we're not. And we actually tell you, hey, these are the team that's going to treat you right. This is going to team that's going to probably make you the most money. You should talk to them first. We are more interested in your success than deploying your capital and, you know, you're not going to do too well. We'd rather you buy 20 more properties with us. We make more money than you make more money. So I hope this helped. Sometimes it seems so simplistic. You're like, okay, Alex, I can't sell it, so I refinance it. That was your big gem. It's like, I know, but it has to be said. All right. So if you are having an issue selling your property, let's recap. First, you reanalyze the market. You reanalyze your property. You reanalyze your finishes between the houses that were recently sold and your property. So you try to figure out, why isn't this selling? You look at the agent comments, if there is any. But what did people say? I love the house. They didn't make an offer. They didn't even make a below asking offer. There's something wrong, especially in this market. They didn't make an offer, but they like the house. Something else is up. Okay. So reanalyze your market and house. Consider coming to a lender like Jet Lending to refinance you out to a 30-year term. Consider finding outlets to help you owner finance it. Consider putting a renter in if your lender allows it within your original term. Okay. The whole point of this game is to keep your cash in your pocket. Okay. The more money you keep shelling out and there's not coming in, you can only do that for so long, no matter what type of investor you are. Okay. So I hope this helped. Again, these are live, so you guys can always ask questions. If you do ask them later, I'll see them. You can call us. You can text us. You can go watch all of our educational videos on our website. It's in the title. I'll put our website in there too. So jetlending.com. I hope we can get you guys some money to get you guys some properties. And if you're ever in a loan with Jet Lending and you're having issues, get us involved. We're here to help. We are not the lender that says, here's money. I hope I see you later. No, we're going to be with you from soup to nuts. We're going to be with you until you sell or refinance the property. We are here to help. Okay. So that's why we've been here for so long. All right. So I hope this helped again. Let me know if there's any videos you need me to make you. They're going to keep coming out either way. And I hope you guys have a great day.